but for our government just to say, okay, well, your debt is completely forgiven. Obviously, they have an agenda for that. They need votes in November. So the timing is a pure coincidence there as well. But it's completely unfair. And taxpayers all over the country, taxpayers that never took out a student loan, taxpayers that pay their bills and maybe even never went to college or just hardworking people, they shouldn't have to pay off the great big student loan debt for some college student that piled up massive debt going to some Ivy League school. That's not fair.
Hey everybody, Maz Jobrani here. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene is upset that Joe Biden is forgiving student loans of up to $10,000 and possibly up to $20,000 depending on the loan that you had. And yet, Marjorie Taylor Greene got her PPP loan for her business forgiven of up to $183,000. She had $183,000 forgiven for the loan she took out during the pandemic that she poo-pooed and said was a plandemic and doesn't think it was real and all that other stuff. And now, hypocritically, she is criticizing Biden for giving students who took out $10,000 or $20,000 worth of loans. I mean, they have more, but that's what's being forgiven. Let's start by spelling hypocrite. H-Y-P-O, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's how you spell it. Here's the deal, folks. There's a lot of ways to look at this. First of all, Republicans have been opposing everything Democrats have been trying to do to pass certain laws or certain bills. Part of it is because they don't want the Democrats to have any wins going into the midterm elections. They tried to oppose the Democrats when they were trying to pass the bill that would help soldiers that were suffering from all the burns that they were doing, the burning of all the fuel and during the wars. And it took Jon Stewart and a lot of other people to push back and get that passed. They were opposed to the Inflation Reduction Act. They are now opposed to Biden giving this relief. And it seems like they don't want the Democrats to pass anything, kind of like how Mitch McConnell said back when Obama had become president and he said, I don't want to have him pass anything. Like, it's almost as if they don't want to improve anything in America as long as it will give Republicans power. You follow what I'm saying? Anything that happens that's good, they don't want to do it. So, for example, if tomorrow Biden were to snap his fingers and inflation were to go away, they would find a way to criticize it. They would say, well, now he's doing this because he has ulterior motives and we're not going to support it. One of my favorite lines was actually Jamie Harrison, who is the head of the Democratic committee. And he said, Republicans would vote against their mothers on Mother's Day. That's what these guys are about. So let's just break this down. First of all, Marjorie Taylor Greene says that this isn't fair because other people are going to be paying for these people who took out the student loan. First of all, these are taxes that have already been collected. They're not going to collect extra taxes to pay for the student loans. Secondly, I'm a taxpayer. I paid my student loans. And I feel, why don't we take some of the money that we spend, the hundreds of billions of dollars that we spend on defense, and put it towards education? Why don't we make education more affordable? Why don't we find out why education has become so expensive? One of the reasons is, coming out of World War II, they were giving grants, they were keeping education low, the government was helping subsidize education, and that was coming out. There was a GI Bill, and a lot of the soldiers coming out were white men. So the government was supporting them and subsidizing them. And as the years went on, we got into the 70s and 80s, and all of a sudden people going to college were more diverse, and it was women, and there was black people and Latinos and other people. Ronald Reagan looked around and said, we're subsidizing all of these hippies, all of this diversity. And he helped create this private enterprise where banks were giving loans to students, the tuition started going up, and we're in the situation we're in right now. So Republicans helped get us to where we are right now. I was just traveling in Europe over the summer, and everywhere I went, we ran into the same situation of free healthcare, free education. And it blows my mind that the people that support Republicans don't realize that the Republicans in power don't care about their own constituents. They really don't. They want to play the game of the culture wars. They want to distract. But when it comes time to actually helping some people, my guess is some of the people getting relief are Republicans. Why not help them by giving them $10,000 or $20,000 worth of relief to bring down their debt? Why not? Why not help them get on their feet? Why not help them start a business? Why not help them start a family by cutting back on that debt? Why is it when it comes to bailing out big companies, it's okay? We bail out the big banks, but we can't help people. Or why don't we get corporations to pay their fair share of taxes and then they could subsidize this whole thing? How about that? How about corporations just pay for colleges for the fees to come down? Maybe they can make college free for everybody. And then Republicans, Democrats, everyone can go to college and get educated if they want. They don't have to if they don't want to. How about that?
It's very unfair, to have a truck driver have to pay back a loan from somebody that got like a PhD in gender studies. That's not fair. That's not right.
And of course, leave it to Ron DeSantis to just make facetious arguments. First of all, it's insulting to someone who's a truck driver. Maybe there's a truck driver who actually got a college degree and is going to benefit from the student loan. How do you know, Ron DeSantis? Secondly, people aren't all studying gender studies. A lot of people that go to these colleges come out with a degree and they end up going into education, or they go into charity work, or they go into social work. They're helping people. We should help them. It's a misleading argument for people like Marjorie Taylor Greene to say that these people are going to Ivy League schools. There's millions of people getting relief from this tuition forgiveness, and most of them didn't go to Ivy League schools. Ron DeSantis did go to an Ivy League school. It's facetious arguments that convince their constituents that they're looking out for them. But the unfortunate thing is the constituents end up being the ones who get stepped on, because they're the ones who could benefit from these tuition relief forgiveness. And let's face it, I agree with Ron DeSantis. We should bring down the price of colleges. Let's find a way to subsidize education. Again, instead of spending all this money on this military, and when we're trying to decrease the amount of wars we're involved in, let's bring the money down from there and give it to the schools. How about that? Come on, I'm Maz Jobrani. See me on tour. I promise my shows will be funnier. These guys just drive me nuts. I can't help myself. DeSantis and Marjorie Taylor Greene in the same video. Oh, God. I'm going to have nightmares tonight. At Maz Jobrani. Follow me. Bye.